Hi, I'm Steve Fisher and welcome to another quick tips video on the Octopad SPD-30. Today we're going to deal with the dual trigger inputs that are in the back. And there's actually 4 dual trigger inputs on the back and a hi-hat expression pedal input. This allows you to engage in a lot of different applications using your SPD-30 and allows you to add pads to any setup, whether you're going to add it to your percussion setup, your acoustic drum setup, or your electronic drum setup. So it allows you to add more pads to that setup. As far as a standalone setup, that's where you want to use the dedicated hi-hat expression pedal input because you can make it a small drum set and actually manipulate the hi-hat from closed to open, nice and smooth, and even the heel splashes, the foot splashes. Let's get started with assigning those inputs, because what we want to do is not only assign different sounds to those external inputs, but we need to also tell the SPD-30 what pad we're using. Therefore, it's already pre-set up in the module, so you're all ready to go. All the trigger parameters are all there to maximize your performance. I've got a PD-85 right here that I'm going to use, and I've got it plugged into the dual trigger input number 1. Now I'm going to focus in here so you can actually see the display better. And when I actually hit the pad, you'll see the number 1 come up in the display. If I hit another pad I've got plugged into input number 4, you can actually see the number 4 light up. So I know exactly which input I'm dealing with. Let's go in and assign the trigger type. So the SPD-30 knows exactly what trigger I'm using, again, to maximize all those triggering parameters. Simply done, I'm going to push the menu button down here, and I'm going to use the left knob and go all the way to where it says pad, and then push enter. It's the button right underneath where it says enter in the display. Hit the pad, and you can see those 4 dual trigger inputs right there. You can even see a little velocity bar next to the input there. Right now it's assigned to an acoustic kick trigger. And as a matter of fact, you can have 3 different banks. So you can have, for your different setups, if it's a percussion setup, and then you move to your acoustic drums where you have your acoustic trigger setup, you just simply switch to the different banks, banks 1, 2, and 3, so you don't have to go reassign things again. We're going to stick within that 1 bank. So right now it's set up for an acoustic kick trigger, which is great. It's wonderful to be able to trigger your acoustic drums. You can trigger your acoustic kick and acoustic snare using the dual trigger RT10S snare trigger, and then have 2 more pads over your floor toms. Makes for a great setup, and your acoustic drum set can sound different for each sound dramatically using this setup. Here we go. We're going to assign the trigger type to the pad here. Playing that pad, and the right knob actually will take me to the menu of all the different V-drum pads that I have available. Well, I've got a PD-85, so I set it to PD-85 and say OK. And there it is. I simply do that for all 4 trigger types. Now let's assign a sound to that external trigger input. That's easily done. We're going to push the menu button again. Default is up at instrument, so I simply push the enter button again, and there we go. There's our sound. Now I can assign both head and rim sounds to this pad because, again, they are dual trigger. So there I'm at. There's the sound. I simply turn the dial. Now I can go individually through all 670 sounds, or I can use the middle button and actually go through the different categories. So I can go, for example, right to percussion. I can say, there we go. There's percussion. Maybe want a different sound. Low timbali, bongo. Push OK. I can even go to the second sound. To the rim is a kick. Let's say I want that to be, for example, a cymbal sound. So you can see both the head and the rim now are assigned to completely different sounds. That's how you do it. It's fun, easy, and it'll expand all your options when you use an Octopad SPD-30.